alive!
So, for those of you who know me, I made a lot of horror movies. And I'm a producer, so I'm kind of don't really believe. I'm kind of like this logic guy, you know? It's like, yeah, well, you know, not really. Yeah, I just put it all together. But we're making this movie. It's called Lovely Molly. And it was a really intense movie. Like, the first night, I knew we were in trouble because we got all the actors together, and the actress sitting next to me said that she was really method. And that was alarming because in the script, she was like a heroin-using, drunk, like, disaster of a person. And true story, I literally had to save this woman from jumping off a building, like, by the end of the movie. I mean, like, no jokes. But this film took place in this old house. We looked all over the place for it. It was up in Maryland, and during the French Native American War, French Indian War, whatever they call it, this place really was a hospital during that war. And then they built a slave house at this place. And then during the Confederate War, it was a military post. There was a battle right there. So this is like a really, really old house. But it was spectacular. I mean, it was really creepy, like really, really creepy. So we found this place, the location manager went to us, and it looked so good from the outside, but we went inside and it just looked, it was so nasty. We had to pay the lady to move her out, and we cleaned that place for like a week and a half to make it look crappy in the movie. I mean, it was nasty. I mean, there was just gross stuff all over the place. And it creaked, and it was really weird. So sure enough, like, the actors, being actors, wanted to spend the night there to get into their roles. So I was like, all right, sure, you know, you guys can spend the night before we shoot in it. And they tried. It was two of them. They were there by themselves, and they just felt like really uneasy in this house, and they freaked out, and they couldn't stay there, and they left. I'm like, all right, you know, whatever, it's actors. Then our cinematographer was there taking time-lapse shots because he wanted to make sure that all the lighting was there. And John is like this really big, athletic guy, like, you know, really serious guy. And he freaked out and left. And we're like, okay, really, John? I mean, come on, it can't be that bad. So sure enough, like, we're there and shooting, and we're inside the house, and I'm watching a scene, and I see this breath of air come out next to me, like that. I turn around, nobody there. I'm like, okay, it's kind of weird. Watching the monitor, and I feel somebody pull my shirt. And I'm like, I turn around, nobody there. I'm like, all right, who's fucking with me? Like, this is bullshit. And then we're shooting in the attic of this house. And we're running late, and they move the lights up into the attic, and they start, you know, they go to shoot the scene, and, like, nothing's going on. I'm getting upset. I'm watching the camera. I'm watching the watch. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I go up there, what's wrong? I'm like, they're like, the lights won't work. They just won't work. I'm like, well, just take them down and change the light bulb. They take them down, they change the light bulb, they bring them back up, they test them downstairs, work perfectly, bring them back up to the attic, won't work. I'm like, you're kidding me. I take the light down myself, change the light bulb, it works, take it back up, doesn't work. I'm like, fine. Everybody go home, we're over time, it's late, go home. This is a Friday night. I'm upset because it's late and everything. So one of the crew members comes to me and says, no, Rob, like, this house is haunted, like, for real. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So he's like, no, listen, I have a friend of mine who is like a ghost investigator. You mean like one of those TV shows? Yeah, they're like, do that kind of thing. All right, well, sure, have him come in over the weekend and have him come into the house. Why not? Make some good behind the scenes. So these guys come in, they bring in all their gear, they set it up, they actually monitor, all the things, and then the next day on Sunday they come to me and they go, yeah, man, you've absolutely got something in this house. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, look, here, listen to this. And he had a sound recorder, and he's like, this is Charlie. Get out of my house. I was like, all right. You guys are really screwing with me. No way. It's like, no, listen. And they took these time-lapse photographs of the bed, and sure enough, you could see this shadow. And this is all up, like, in the attic of the house. So I'm like, forget about it. So one of the other crews comes to me and says, listen, I've got this spiritualist. Don't tell her anything about the other guys. Let her come in. Don't tell her anything about what's going on and see what she says. I'm like, fine. So she comes in, walks around the house, like, moves around, walks up the stairs, goes to the attic. She stops in the attic. I've told her nothing. She's like, Charlie is here. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's very upset with you. I'm like, why? You are in his house. I'm like, okay. You need to apologize to him now. I'm like, I gotta shoot in this house. I got a movie. Like, there's all this stuff, and I'm like, Mr. Charlie, this is Rob. Really sorry that we didn't ask permission to shoot in your house, but I really, really need this to work, and we'll be out of here really soon. And she's like, it's okay. Charlie's okay. I'm like, all right. Sure enough, we set up the next day. We bring the lights up to the attic. Lights come on. Worked perfectly. We shot the scene. And after the scene, I was like, thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I don't know whether it's real or not, but I tell you, I think I'm a believer. I can't deny it. And I'm really grateful for Charlie being cool. Anyway.